Last week, I had Codie Sanchez come on stage at my Tyke Summit event where she spoke about how to buy boring businesses. She's also been on my podcast, and we've got the chance to spend a lot of time together behind the scenes. So let me give you all the best things that she's taught me that have impacted my business and my life. The first one is that I don't have to keep starting every business myself. If you followed my career, I've started a lot of different successful businesses on my own, but I've never went out and acquired a business. I've always bootstrapped them with no capital, no customers, no logos, no company names. I've had to create everything from scratch. Now, the cool thing about creating it from scratch is that you get to own the whole thing and you don't have to pay any money to acquire it. The bad thing is it's a lot more risky starting it from scratch because you don't really know how it's going to turn out. On top of that, having to create new brands and logos, websites, funnels, hire all these employees, create SOPs, it's a lot of work, especially for someone like me who's starting up new businesses every single quarter. And so the thought of buying businesses has become really attractive to me the more I've talked to people like Codie, Alex Hormozi, and Grant Cardone. All three of them are buying businesses right now, but they're all doing it in very different ways. And it makes sense. It's a lot easier to scale a business that's already existing and add your touch and flair to it to make it even better to the next level. When you already have revenue, customers, employees, systems, processes, equipment, and all of those things in place, it just jumpstarts your timeline tremendously. And when you start making more money, you have less time. And so it's far better to cut that time horizon down by just giving business owners money. And if you just think about a lot of the businesses she's buying, like laundromats, it's very difficult to go out and start a laundromat versus just going and buying one that already has everything in place. Another thing that I've learned from her is that you've got to know your buy box. For her, she wants boring businesses like laundromats that are doing over $1 million a year in revenue. And for her, she knows that a lot of these boring businesses have really bad tech and don't have great marketing or processes. And so if they're already doing $1 million with a flawed model, she knows if she adds those things to the business, she's gonna help grow it to 1.5, 2, maybe 3 million. And she has told me that her buy box is looking for those kinds of businesses, and once she gets it to about $10 million, that's kind of her cap. She doesn't want to scale businesses beyond that. She would rather just go buy more of these $1 million businesses and have a bunch of them. And so as I go into acquiring new businesses with my new company, Pineda Ventures, we have to clearly define our buy box so that we are only going after deals that we want. And right now, if we're looking at cash flow type businesses, our buy box is pretty simple. We want businesses that are doing over $1 million in the real estate niche or the education niche. So in real estate, that includes property management, title companies, mortgage companies. We know this space very well, and we know that we can scale those businesses with our tech and our marketing. And in the education space, we've started multiple different coaching programs, and we've learned how to handle fulfillment, events, marketing, sales, and everything that it takes to grow an education company. So our focus is on those two industries when it comes to making cash today. But we're also going to be looking at different tech and blockchain companies because we're very integrated into that with my NFT project, Tykes. We just released a second collection called Tykes Unleashed, which is going to allow holders to invest with us on these types of businesses. Through our community, we get pitched every single week on all of these different tech companies. The reality is most of them aren't making money today and they're long shots, but if you invest in enough of those, you might get lucky and hit one big. And so for me, I'm just looking at everything as a mix now. I'm still gonna have my own companies that I start. We're also going to buy real estate and education companies, and we're going to invest in some of these high-risk, high-reward tech companies. And if you're interested in investing with me on any of these businesses, you can go get the NFT today by clicking the link below. Now, I don't anticipate buying laundromats the way Codie does, but I do think there's an interesting play if you merge the real estate with businesses like laundromats. Being able to own the building and sign a triple net lease with a business is super intriguing. And so you may see some of those plays as time goes on. The next thing I learned from Codie is that creative finance with buying businesses is very popular. We talk about creative finance all the time in real estate, like taking over a seller's mortgage or doing seller financing, but the same is true in business. You can go buy businesses right now today for $0 out of pocket, just like in real estate, and you can make sure that you pay the seller back over time through the revenue that the business is generating. And I think this is an amazing opportunity if you have really good business acumen, because there's gonna be a lot of sellers of these businesses that are ready to just retire, they're baby boomers, they wanna get out, or you're gonna come across people right now who are hurting during the recession, They're either going to shut their business down or give it to somebody else for free. And you could be the person that's there to help the seller when they had no other options, and you could turn that business around for the employees and the customers. The next thing that she taught me was that operators are the hard part of running businesses and buying them. I've known this for a while. Finding a good COO in each business has been the hardest part of what we do. Over time, we've had to change COOs as we've evolved. Sometimes they were good for a certain point in the business, but as we scaled, we had to get somebody else. But having a good operator in the business will make or break it. The operator has to be the one who's handling the day-to-day. They have to be the one that's in tune with the industry of that business. And they got to be the one who have the support of all of the employees that they're managing. So I've realized if I'm going to go out and acquire a business, I better make sure that either A, a good operator is coming with it, or B, I've already got an operator lined up who I know is going to run this company. Neither of those scenarios are available, then the business will fail if I try to acquire it. The next thing she taught me was that social media is king. Now, if you follow me for a while, you know that I'm a huge believer of social media. Ever since I started making content almost 3 years ago, my business and my life have changed dramatically. We've been able to get more leads for my businesses. I've been able to hire more talent for my businesses, and I've been able to raise more capital for my projects and deals. And she started around the same time that I did, and she has seen all of the same benefits. She's constantly getting more talent. She's getting deal flow on businesses to purchase. She has her own education programs that provide another stream of income for her. And overall, social media is an amazing tool that is only going to continue to get stronger as time goes on. And if you didn't know, one of the education businesses that I mentioned earlier that I own is called Wealthy Creator, where we teach entrepreneurs how to create content and monetize their views into dollars. You can find out more about that at wealthycreator.io. The last thing she taught me was that if you can combine your purpose with your business, it's going to lead to dramatic results. She truly wants to help people buy small businesses, and it shows through her content, shows through her education, and it shows through her actions of trying to buy more and more businesses. Not only does she want to teach people to do it, but her mission to go and buy all these businesses that would have otherwise just shut down is a very worthy cause, because it helps the entire nation as a whole by keeping these businesses around with their communities, keeping employees employed, and providing new opportunities for new entrepreneurs. So I'm just inspired by Codie's mission, and I'm honored to have her as a friend. And if you want to see the podcast interview we did that's a lot more in depth, make sure you click this next video and go check it out.